What's good, everybody? It's the Cloud with Cab Show. The NBA season is finally here. The whole offseason really went fast since, the Denver Nuggets win it. Shout out to Jokic getting another ring. And I think, obviously his first ring, but I do think Jokic can really repeat this year. I do think the Denver Nuggets have a great shot at repeating just because the West isn't really, spectacular like that. Yes, they got the Warriors with Steph. They got the Lakers and LeBron and AD. But right now, I would still lean towards, the Nuggets repeating right now. I just think Jokic is that it factor. He's one of the top players in the league. Then obviously, you got guys. I'm telling you, the future of the NBA is Victor Wembanyama. I believe that's how you pronounce his name. This dude's a first round pick, number 1 overall. Went to the Spurs. He's 7'4". Victor Wembanyama. I'm telling you what, he's gonna be the future. I like this guy. I think he has the swagger to be a champion. Obviously, with the Spurs, with Popovich, I think everything's gonna work out with San Antonio. But for Victor Wemby, I'm telling you, man, this dude, he's going to be something, man. He's going to be a superstar, and I do think eventually, once LeBron and Steph retire, I think Victor is that next guy. Why not? 7'4", he's playing with the Spurs, a winning organization who has multiple championships after championships. Why not? I think Victor's going to really take off here. His rookie season, I think he's going to make it to the playoffs. I think they can run deep and just get better players around Victor. So I think the future is bright with San Antonio and Victor, man. He's definitely the future of the NBA. I can't wait, man. 7'4", not as quite as tall as Yao Ming, but still, dude, that is crazy, man. That's insane. It's insane that the Spurs got the number 1 overall pick. They had a 50% chance. They got it, man. They got it, and well-deserved from Pop, man. Nobody deserves it but except him in the Spurs organization, man. So shout out to the Spurs. But, I think out east-wise, it was Boston. They got Porzingis now. Boston's looking really solid. But right now, I'm going Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets are the two teams that I think are the best teams in the NBA to start off the season right now. I mean, you have Damian Lillard, who had 39 points in his Milwaukee debut. Like, dude, that is crazy, man. I mean, and you got Giannis with him, so you have Giannis and Damian Lillard on Milwaukee alone. So I think alone, those two right there are game changers. I do think they've already won a championship. Giannis has already won, and we understand that Damian Lillard, arguably the most underrated point guard in the past, 7 years. Like, I'm telling you, like, Damian Lillard has been so underrated, in many years that he didn't even get an all-star selection, and just let that tell you that the fans don't understand the game of basketball because Damian Lillard right now, I think, is the best point guard pound for pound. Now, Steph Curry, yes, he's a point guard / shooting guard, but I'm saying a true point guard here. Damian Lillard is the number 1 guy. He's been the number 1 guy, like I said, for the past 7 or 8 years, but a lot of people just don't even know about it. It's just like, they sweep Damian Lillard under the table. And I'm thinking, how's Damian Lillard so underrated like that? Like, I'm telling you, he's the best point guard in the league. That's my opinion. And I understand Kyrie's still, in Dallas. I understand, man. Kyrie, he has great handles and all that. But pound for pound, I'm still going Damian Lillard, man. I really am. That's who he's got that it factor, man. He really does. He's smart. He's smart with the ball. He's a great shooter. He can penetrate. He can do everything you want as what a point guard wants. That's what you want. You know what I'm saying? So I think, with Kyrie and the Mavericks, they're in a different situation right now, obviously with Mark Cuban, everybody's boy, I just think overall, man, I think the Dallas Mavericks are a little bit overhyped in a way, and I just think, just overall, man, it's just, I'm kind of tired of hearing about the Mavericks, to be honest. Like, we heard about them last year, and they were going to do great things, but, at the end of the day, they came up short. They came up short, so I'm not really worried too much about the Dallas Mavericks, but I just think for LeBron and the Lakers, man, they definitely have some, growing to do with Anthony Davis, so I just think overall, man, it's just one of those where it's just like, hey, but for the Mavericks' sake, with Luka, and Kyrie, it does seem like it could mesh, but overall, I just don't see it happening. I don't. I see there's some indifferences there, so it's going to be interesting to see how the season goes in Dallas. But back to AD and LeBron, I think AD is definitely the X factor for the Lakers here. LeBron, 21 years in the league, dude. his 21st season of the NBA, man. LeBron's been putting up crazy minutes. They're talking about restricting LeBron James's minutes down to 28 or even like 30, 28 to 30. But at the end of the day, LeBron's been playing heavy minutes since 2003, his rookie season in the NBA. So, like, LeBron's been, dude, he's the workhorse. I think LeBron is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen play live, and on TV. Like, what other basketball players doing the stuff that LeBron James is doing? Blocking shots consistently year in and year out. Putting up crazy numbers year in and year out. Like, that's LeBron James there. But people just want to dismiss LeBron because of the greatness and how great LeBron James is. But it's just like, we have to, recognize it, dude. 21 seasons in the league, man. Like, that is crazy. I think LeBron's going to hit 25 years in the league. That is a quarter of a century, man. 25 years in the NBA. Let that settle in, dude. And I think LeBron's going to do that. I think he's going to retire in 4 years from now. I think he's going to play with his son, Bronny, eventually. And I hope, that the story ending would be go back to Cleveland, win a championship in Cleveland, one more championship there, and retire. Retire with 5 rings, and LeBron would be tied with Kobe, one behind MJ. But obviously the best story would be, win 2 more rings and then retire. Tie MJ with 6. That if you're LeBron, you want to tie MJ. That's for sure, absolutely. But I think Anthony Davis, man, they got some nice players on the Lakers, Austin Reeves and those guys. But I just think right now Anthony Davis is a prima donna to me. It looks like he looks the same player that he's been looking like for the past 3 years. Not really improved much, doesn't have much strength, doesn't look like, he was really hungry. You know what I'm saying? So there's so many indifferences with AD. So it's a big question mark for the Lakers. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs, but can they win a championship? Can LeBron James win a championship in LA this year? That's the huge question. So a big question mark there. It's absolutely a big question mark, but we got Zion Williams with the Pelicans. I'm telling you, if Zion stays healthy, I do think Zion could possibly win MVP this year. And a lot of people are like, whoa, how's that possible? I'm telling you, Zion, dude, like, even though he does look a little chunky, I do think he could lose about 20 pounds of just fat. But overall, I think Zion is one of my guys to win MVP this year. He's young, and I understand he's coming off multiple injuries, but he's one injury right from really his whole career being over. So this is a huge year for Zion Williamson, like his biggest year yet. So if he could stay healthy, I do think he could possibly win MVP. I really do. I think that's a huge possibility there. But overall for the NBA, there's so many different teams out there. We got Atlanta. We got so many different teams. But I just think the NBA is changing in a way. It's not the same as it used to be. I do think the viewership has gone down by the millions. Ever since COVID hit and it got really political. I think overall, when you add politics to sports, I don't think it's a good thing. I really don't. I think it's a terrible thing to do. But as far as the NBA goes, I do think it's kind of like the MLB in a way. They play way too many games. I think they should, play way less games. I think NBA should play about 50 games and then go into the playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the MLB, they play, 162 games or something crazy? They should play 100 games. 50 home, 50 away. Like, it's just way too many games. And I understand it's a business, but that's why they play so many games, because it is a business and they want to make as much money as they can possible. But right now, I think the NBA is struggling in a way. I think the new wave of generation is coming in, and I think the new wave really forgets of what happened in the 80s and 90s. They forget about Magic and Bird now. They don't really talk about that anymore. They don't talk about MJ as much anymore. Like, nowadays, it's about LeBron. Which for me, I grew up in that generation where it's like I saw LeBron from an early age. I saw him in high school develop, and I was like, this guy is going to be a superstar. I was a kid then, and I was like, I know LeBron James is going to be a superstar. You could just tell. You could tell, and you can engage in some of these guys where you haven't seen a LeBron James talent yet hit the NBA yet. You just haven't. I mean, Zion Williams was close, but overall not nowhere near LeBron James caliber. So LeBron James to me is the best basketball player I've ever seen. I'm talking from the offensive side to the defensive side. That's LeBron James. I mean, overall, he's got it, dude. It's LeBron, and he's been in the league 21 years. He's been in the league now. There's probably kids now that had dads in the NBA that played against LeBron. Now their sons are playing against LeBron. That should tell you how great LeBron James is. Like, that is crazy, dude. Almost a quarter century in the league, man, and people still badmouth LeBron. People still call him, a sissy. They call him a B word. They call him so many different names, dude. So everything under the sun. They call LeBron James, but at the end of the day, LeBron is still in the NBA. He still has a shot to win a championship this year. So I think that's huge for the NBA. But once LeBron James retires, it's definitely going to change the whole dynamic of the NBA. Kind of like how Kobe left. All the old superstars, Tracy McGrady, Allen Iverson, all those guys, man, they paved the way for today, dude. Like, they paved the way for Damian Lillard. They paved the way for Anthony Davis, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Durant as well. Kevin Garnett was mainly back in the early 2000s. But Kevin Durant is one of those guys as well, coming in about 2008, 2009 time. But I think the top three players of my generation are LeBron James, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. Those three players right there have paved the way from the early 2000s up until this point right now. And LeBron, like I said, been in the league since 2003. Curry got in the league, I believe, in 2009, a year after Durant. So it's just like, dude, like these guys, man, they've paved the way to where it's at today. So I think the NBA, man, it's great, but I do think in a way it's losing viewership as we speak. I really do. But I think out west, you still have, superstar LA and LeBron. You still have Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. You got Draymond Green out there. I think the Warriors are always a threat. I think they definitely for sure will win another championship with Steph there. I think Steph's eventually going to retire and stay with the Warriors his whole career. That's great, right? Kind of like Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant, staying with the same organization your whole career, and nothing's better than that, right? Staying with the same team. So I love that, man. But you can't count out the Warriors, but this year is definitely, it's wide open. The NBA is wide open. But like I said, the top two teams in the NBA for sure are Damian Lillard and the Bucks with Giannis. That's a top team right there. And then I got to put the Warriors in the top five as well. You have to. You got Steph Curry, the best shooter that the game has ever seen, ever, dude. Like, nobody's ever seen Steph Curry like. They just haven't. So they're in there as well. The Warriors are in there. And we can't forget about the Heat and Jimmy Emo Butler. The emo, dude, it's just silly, man. Jimmy Butler's just silly. It's all for publicity. It really is. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't really fuck with the emo stage. Excuse my language. I don't really mess with that. But overall, it's just like, Jimmy, what's going on, dude? It went from dreadlocks to the emo phase. What's going to be next year? I can't wait. Maybe eyeliner or something, paint your nails, something like that. But overall, I'm telling you, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets are the top two teams in the NBA right now. Those are the teams to be. I can't wait to see how the NBA plays out. They're doing different things. In-season tournament for the NBA, so players don't miss games on purpose. We got guys like James Harden missing games, not even reporting to practice for the 76ers. Talk about James Harden washed up, another washed up player in the NBA. Nobody really cares about James Harden. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if James Harden would not play again, nobody would really talk about it. Just be like, all right, another day. See you, James Harden. You're just another ex-NBA player who didn't make the Hall of Fame, who didn't win a championship. Like, that's who James Harden is. You know what I'm saying? But overall, man, I still got to put LeBron, the GOAT, James, in there that they still have a chance to win it, and I can't wait, man. You can never count out the Lakers, and I want to see LeBron James win a championship, at least one more, before he retires from the NBA. But I just hope, in general, the NBA improves its ratings from where it used to be. But, hey, it's the NBA season. It's wide open. But right now, I got the Milwaukee Bucks and the Denver Nuggets up at the top of the standings in the NBA, man. It's the Clouded with Cab show. Let's go!